civilian sites in the seaside cities of Jableh and Tartus, which until now had been relatively insulated from Syria's 5-year war.
I got here and I parked. The explosion happened. I was standing here. There was a car behind me that got burned. I saw mortars on the ground. I couldn't get my car out or anything. Thank God after all. But this is not destiny. These are terrorist acts.
The attacks on strongholds of President Bashar al-Assad's regime came as Islamic State faces mounting pressure in Syria and neighboring Iraq, where a major offensive to retake the jihadist-held city of Fallujah is underway. Syrian Observatory for Human Rights monitor said 100 people were killed in Jableh and another 48 in Tartus to the south. Islamic State claimed the blast in a statement, saying they were in retaliation for Syrian regime and Russian airstrikes against the jihadists and vowed to carry out more devastating and bitter attacks. Islamic State is not known to have a presence in Syria's coastal provinces, where its jihadist rival, the Al-Qaeda-affiliated Al-Nusra Front, is much more prominent. But Islamic State, notorious for using deadly sleeper cells to attack its enemies, suggested the creation of a Wilayat al-Sahel, or Islamic province, for the coastal area. The early morning attacks began at a bus station in Tartus, where regime ally Russia has long maintained a naval facility. The observatory said a car bomb exploded, and as people began to flock to the site, 2 suicide bombers detonated explosive bells. Around 15 minutes after the Tartus blast, 4 explosions rocked Jableh further north. The observatory said a car bomb and 3 suicide attackers targeted the bus station, a hospital and a power station.
We went to help the injured. Once we got closer to the car, an explosion took place inside the hospital. When the explosion took place, we returned back for 5 minutes. A girl exploded herself in the emergency department in the hospital. When we knew that, we went back to help the injured and martyrs, and we started to move them in ambulance to private hospitals.
The attacks drew condemnation from around the world, while Human Rights Watch warned that targeting civilians would appear to constitute war crimes. UN Chief Ban Ki-moon denounced the terrorist attacks, while France called the bombing heinous.
The Secretary General condemns the terrorist attacks today that claimed the lives of dozens of civilians in the Syrian coastal towns of Jableh and Tartus. The Secretary General also takes note with great concern of the escalating military activity in many parts in and around Damascus. The violence, particularly in Daraya, Aleppo and Idlib, and in the northern countryside of Homs, especially Al-Hula, is causing mounting civilian casualties.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry spoke to Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov by phone and urged him to press the Syrian regime to halt its attacks on Aleppo in the north and Daraya near Damascus. The Kremlin said the attacks demonstrate yet again how fragile the situation is in Syria and the need to take energetic measures to relaunch peace talks. World powers have struggled to rekindle UN-brokered peace negotiations, which fizzled in April when Syria's opposition walked away in frustration at